Prison overcrowding.
No one can stop this.
I think that's the Mafia.
I'm above the law. So I've been asked how the Italian Mafia do in prison, and this ties in with another question just got: do prisoners bribe guards? The best I ever had it in the Maricopa County Jail, Tower 6, was when the Italian Mafia took over and they were running the whites. For a brief period of time, they took over from what the Aryan Brotherhood was doing. Now, I was in this 45-man pod in Tower 6. So we got Gravedigger, Carter, all these Aryan Brotherhood dudes running the whites and causing problems. There was a race riot, they got moved out. One of the guys that got moved in, baby-faced looking Italian guy, Marco, looked completely innocent, like he wouldn't do anything wrong. He moved into a cell on the upper tier on the end run. And then over the next few days, more and more of his friends started to appear in our pod and move into his cell with him and move into the cell next door. I'm thinking, what's going on here? How's this guy managing to move all of his friends from around the jail into his cell as his cellmates, and he's even got a guy next door. These were guys like Paulie, Hugo, big guys now. These were his muscle. So because there was no head of the whites, all the white boys had to go to a meeting in such and such a cell and vote on who was going to be the new head of the whites. And Marco had moved so many people into our pod that he won the vote and he became the new head of the whites. So he's not an Aryan guy with swastikas and all this stuff now. We've got this New York Italian guy, whatever he is. Obviously some powerful mafioso family. Now what happened was, if you wanted to move around the jail, that was pretty much impossible. But if you went to Marco, he could move you to a different cell. He could get you a cellmate and put it in the cell with you, someone that you liked, a friend. So he was moving all these people all around our Tower 6 because he corrupted the guards. Money had been passed over to some of the guards. At night, when we were all locked down, going to sleep, couldn't get out of our cells, Marco was outside smoking a cigarette with the guards, giving the guards orders, telling them what's going to happen the next day. Now, we hadn't corrupted all of the guards, so say the guards would come into our pod and do the shakedowns where they come in, they just rip through your belongings looking for contraband, they can strip you down, get your butt naked, checking in your arse crack and everything. When those guys would come in and take all of our extra stuff, like if you had an extra towel, if you hadn't eaten all your store items in a timely manner, they'll take those. If you've kept some food from your breakfast, you're going to eat it throughout the day, they'll take that. So all the stuff they would take, towels, bedding, blah blah blah, Marco would have his corrupt guard, as soon as those guards had all gone, bring us back all brand new stuff. He was assigned to hand out the chow. Him and his cronies handed out the chow throughout Tower 6, and they got loads of extra food. If the shakedowns were coming, the guard told Marco that the shakedowns were coming, so everybody hid their drugs. It was like, we ended up calling this gang of Italian Mafia guys Little Italy. Even at one point, Marco had a tape. You couldn't get into his cell without going through his butler. He had this butler guy that did all of his laundry for him and booked appointments to see him. And a sign went up on the cell, Little Italy. Now there was this one guard who was pretty meek, but he'd been promoted to sergeant, and he came in and he tore down the Little Italy thing, and he tore down the little tape you had to go through to get to his cell. And all the Italian Mafia guys come out and they were just staring at this guard, just like these powerful guys just looking at this guard. And the guard just went bright red and they just laughed him. They ripped the piss out of him and told him he needed to go and take assertiveness classes. Marco had it so sweet. His girlfriend was visiting under, pretending to be a lawyer, so they would get legal visits, and he was getting blowjobs in the legal visit room because the guard can't stand there in the legal visit room. He was getting blowjobs in the legal visit room from his girlfriend. Yeah. So I started working out with Marco and them. They knew we were one of the biggest groups in the jail. And there was a point where we all got moved from Tower 6 over to, I think it was Tower 2. And Marco, then we came back under the control of the Aryan Brotherhood guys. And these were some serious dudes from Buckeye Prison. But Marco tried to regain control, and he said to me, Shaun, look, you've got so many co-defendants, why don't we move them all into this pod? And then with your guys and my guys, you know, when it comes down to voting for the new head of the Whites, I'll rely on you guys to vote me in. And if anything goes off with these guys, you know, have you got my back? So yeah, we said, yeah, let's do it. It's a crazy thing to do, because the Aryan Brotherhood run the whole prison system and the jail system. This was just a small enclave in the jail system, because we knew when this ran out, it wasn't going to last. The Aryans would take back over. And when you go to the prison system, Aryans are in control. So Marco moved Joey Crack in my cell, Grady, these were two of my co-defendants, in my cell with me. I had all my co-defendants. He tried to move Wildman into my building, my pod, and the Italian Mafia, through Marco, the guards, found out that the prosecutor had put do not house Attwood and Mahoney together, so Wildman could not be moved into my pod, but he was in the pod next door to us. So the Italian Mafia guys, Marco, they had the guards bring Wildman in the day, and Wildman would just walk in and hang out with us and do his gambling or whatever and chill out with us in the day room. And all that was thanks to Marco and the Italian Mafia guys. If somebody got out of line, Marco, I think he was a kickboxer or something, he did have to smash a few people, but everybody was so happy because we knew when the shakedowns were coming. The guards would warn us about things. Marco would have our people from our pod go to all the religious services to get out of the cell. We even went to the Muslim services one day, which is a no-no for the white race, and it caused problems with the Aryans later on. Just as like a little field trip, we went there, and the imam thought there was going to be a riot because all these white guys showed up at the Muslim services. But Marco smoothed things over, and we just sat there, and it was just like having a little day out from the pod. When we moved back over to Tower 2 though, later on, the Aryan guys were like, we heard some white dudes went to Muslim services, what's up with that? We're going to find out who these guys are and smash them. But all of us had been to that Muslim services thing that day, so nobody owned up to anything, nobody snitched us out. So that lasted for so many months. The Italian Mafia had this rare running of the whites in my pod. And as it got closer for the time Marco was going to get released to the prison system, he was sentenced. He had the same attorney as me, Alan Simpson. So we bonded through that, and I was working out with these guys in the day room. We became really close. And as Marco's release approached, everybody started to get really sad because we knew it was just going to become chaotic again once he left, because he'd maintained this order and people were relatively happy. You can get moved around cells and stuff like that. That's such a luxury. People were really happy. Everybody got palpably sad as it got nearer to Marco's release. Now, if you're going to get moved over to the prison system, they take you out of your cell a few days in the Towers jail system in Phoenix, Arizona, and put you in a tower for people who are about to get released to the prison system. So they came and took all the guys, but they didn't take Marco. He'd had his corrupt guards allow him to just stay with us till the last minute possible. So when they finally did take him, just before he was going to get transferred to the prison, he took all his property, and everybody was sad after he'd gone. And a couple of hours later, another guard brought him back, and he came back and he hung out with us for even longer. And then he went again, and then people were betting whether he was going to come back again. He came back again. He just kept doing it, I think, to show how much power he had over the system. And in the end, the final time he went, we were making bets whether he was going to go or not, and he went. He had youngsters working for him instead of fighting. Slopester was this kid from Sunny Slope, and we put him to good use. And when some other staff members tried to move Marco's crew or Slopester from our pod to other pods, the next day Marco would just have them bring those people back. And it was the best time I ever saw in the jail, relatively speaking. You're not having a good time in jail. It was the best time was when Little Italy, the Italian Mafia, were running things. I'll have to do some of the fight stories those guys had, because one of his goons was a Golden Gloves boxer with an anger problem, and he had a bunch of fights that he won. Then he had a fight with a Rule 11 and mentally ill person called Buster Beats, who was in my cell at one point, and he decided he stepped down from the head of the Whites after that, because so much damage was done to his body fighting Buster Beats. He won Buster Beats in the end. It took a long time, but he came out there. His hands swelled up to the size of a grapefruit. He came out there with broken knuckles, teeth, bits of teeth missing and everything. It was really brutal. Right, hope you enjoyed this video about the Italian Mafia in prison, how they fare. If you watch movies like Goodfellas, Casino, seen The Sopranos, where the Italians are all clicked up in the kitchen getting the food. They do have, from what I saw, you know, they corrupt the system and had it as good as you can possibly get. So some of that stuff is true. Got any comments, questions? Put them in the comments section. I'm touring the UK. Want to come and see me? ShaunAttwood.com events page. If you can't afford the £12 to get in, send me an email. I can put some people on the guest list. Hope to see you at some of my talk.